What did Spartacus say when the lion ate his wife? Nothing. He was Gladiator. Today, I'm going to recap a 2003 action drama film called The Last Samurai. The movie starts with the voice of a man named Katsumoto, a proud samurai warrior and leader telling a mythological story of the origin of Japan. But his belief that Japan is made by a handful of brave men, warriors, willing to give their lives for what seems to have become a forgotten word, honor. In the next scene, the plot moves to the city of Winchester in United States of America, where we see Nathan Algren, a war hero, now drifted and a drunkard, is called upon stage to enact his brave war story and entertain people, where he, out of rage and disgust, actually fires the gun and gets fired from the job. He is then hired by Americans, who are supplying mercenaries to train an army for the Japanese emperor, who wants to move his country into the modern world, and is faced with a samurai rebellion. He comes to know that his army general was himself a samurai. He finds it a bit paradoxical. He then moves to Japan, taking his position as captain, just for the sake of money. They are the army of conscripts. Most of them are peasants who had never even seen a gun. He is very intrigued by the samurai head, Katsumoto, and is trying to collect information about him. Next day, a higher official, named Mr. Omura, says samurai rebellions are destroying their railroads, and he cannot govern a country where he is not allowed to move freely, and Colonel Bagley says we should therefore attack the rebels. Nathan Algren objects, saying the army is not ready, but Colonel Bagley says it's his order. Next day they attack, get defeated very badly, as the samurai custom army's chief kills himself out of shame. Nathan Algren is beset by the enemies, and in the fight, he kills a warrior attacking him. But as he is about to be killed by another warrior, he is stopped by their chief, who they address as Lord. Then he is taken by samurai warriors in their camp. The other co-warriors are asked to kill Nathan, but Katsumoto orders to keep him alive. Nathan is brutally injured, and Katsumoto has made him stay in Taka's house. Later, Nathan, when rejuvenated enough, comes to know that she is the wife of Hirotaro, who he had killed. She asks Katsumoto that she cannot stand him anymore, but as he orders, she has to comply. Engulfing all her grief, she remains kind to Nathan. In the beginning of his stay, Nathan is furious and agitated to live captured there. Katsumoto is trying to converse with him about his different war experiences, but he is repulsed by this. Katsumoto tells him that in spring, passes will open and he can go, but till winter, he will have to stay. Nathan finds these people unusual. They treat them with a kind of mild neglect. Everyone is polite, everyone smiles and bows, but Nathan feels a deep reservoir of feelings. Nathan comes across a new meaning of samurai, that is, to serve. He observes a new prospect of life and peace here, in the midst of chaos. Nathan finds these people very intriguing. They devote themselves to the perfection of whatever they pursue. He had never witnessed such discipline. Very slowly and steadily, he starts to understand their ways, and by practicing, he develops his overall skill of life and war. Nathan asks for an apology from Taka, and thanks her for being kind. She says her husband was doing his duty, and even Nathan was doing his, and his apology is accepted. As spring comes, some folk performances are going on. Everyone is enjoying. Even Katsumoto is dancing, but then they are attacked by some unknown warrior who has come to kill Katsumoto. Nathan also fights actively to save Katsumoto. Next day, Katsumoto meets Nathan beneath a blossom tree. Nathan asks who sent those men to kill you, but Katsumoto says he is writing a poem. Could you complete it? Nathan asks, was it the emperor? Katsumoto says, if the emperor wants my life, he could ask for it. And he informs that the emperor has granted a safe passage to Tokyo and they are leaving tomorrow. Nathan bids goodbye to Taka. Next, they reach Tokyo, and Nathan is left by the samurai group. He reaches the regiment and is welcomed by Colonel Bagley. Katsumoto meets the emperor. They talk about how the emperor feels he is just a puppet in the hands of ministers, and Katsumoto asks him to do what he feels to be right, as he is a living god. The emperor asks him to tell him what he must do, as he is his teacher. Katsumoto says, you have wisdom all over us, and I can't tell you. After this, Colonel Bagley and Mr. Omura interrogate Nathan about various details of the samurai group, but he denies saying anything. They both get furiated. Mr. Omura asks Nathan to have a word in private. He tries to extract some information, but Nathan dodges them straightforwardly. Omura comes up with an offer of crushing Katsumoto before he attracts other samurai for his cause with new weapons, but Nathan says his contract was only to train the army. Omura asks to make a new contract. Then in the council meeting, Katsumoto is not allowed to carry his sword and is objected by Omura, but he says he will only comply when Emperor will say from his mouth. But Emperor kept mum, and Katsumoto leaves the meeting and is captured by the army, and Nathan is leaving the place. Katsumoto is asked to take his life, but Nathan reaches there to take him with other warriors and helps him to escape from there. But in the fighting, Katsumoto's son dies. Both, along with their group, come back to their village. Katsumoto says the emperor couldn't hear his words. Now the army will come, and this will be the end. For 900 years, his ancestors have protected their people, and he has failed them. Nathan asks, will you take your own life in shame? Shame for life of service, discipline, compassion? Katsumoto replies, the way of the samurai is not necessary anymore. I will die by the sword, my own or by enemies. Nathan says that let it be of the enemy. In the village, Nathan meets Taka. He tells her about her nephew's death. She asks, will you fight, white man? He tells her if they will come here, then yes. Taka's son asks, why? Nathan says, because they are coming to destroy what I have come to love. Then her son leaves the room. Nathan says he hates me as I have killed his father. Taka tells him that he is afraid to lose him also. Nathan goes to her son outside. He tells him that his father said it's glorious to die in a war, but Nathan says he had always been afraid of being in war. They both hug each other. Then preparation for war begins. A huge army consisting of 2 battalions is on the way. Samurai are quite less in number. Katsumoto says, let them come, and we will make our stand, and ask Nathan, can a man change his destiny? Nathan replies, a man does what he can, until his destiny is revealed. Then we hear a voice of Nathan's last entry in diary, 25th May 1877, where he tries to give every small detail of the day, and says that he couldn't understand his course of life, but he is happy he was part of this, even for a moment. Taka asks Nathan to wear her husband's armor, and this will honor her. And she even helps him wear it. She hugs him while leaving. Katsumoto presents a new sword to Nathan, in which something is scripted. Nathan asks what it is. Katsumoto tells him, I belong to the warrior in whom the old ways have joined the new. Finally, the army from both sides meet. Nathan's plan is to lessen the leverage of gun over sword by shortening the distance between them. So they wait patiently for the army to come forward. Then comes a long war sequence in which initially samurai are outweighing the enemy. But as they are large in number and have profit from using guns, they eventually end up brutally inflicting and killing the samurais. Even Katsumoto and Nathan get bullets in their bodies. When Omura sees them coming towards them, he orders firing. Katsumoto gets many bullets in his body, but is still coming forward. The captain of lower rank stops firing, and Nathan helps Katsumoto with a sword to kill himself. Every soldier left, even an enemy group, kneels down to show their respect to a warrior like Katsumoto. Then comes a scene of Emperor signing treaty with America for ushering an era of unprecedented prosperity and cooperation between 2 great nations. But meanwhile, someone interrupts and tells Emperor something in his ear, and Captain Nathan Algren enters the cabin, walking injured, and kneels down to present Katsumoto's sword, and says he would have wanted you to have the sword, and may the strength of samurai be with you. Katsumoto hopes that the emperor would remember the ancestor who held this sword and what they died for. Omura interrupts, but Nathan keeps on saying, Emperor kneels down to take the sword and ask, were you with him till the end? Omura again reminds the emperor that this man fought against you. Nathan says, if the emperor believes me to be the enemy, I will die right now. The emperor stands up and says, we cannot forget what we were and from where we are, and cancel the treaty. When Omura objects, he asks him to take the sword and die if he is in shame. Omura steps back. The emperor asks Nathan to tell him how Katsumoto died. Nathan says, "I will tell how he lived." And so, the days of samurai ended. No one knows of Captain Nathan Algren after this. Some say he died of wounds, others say that he returned to his own country. But then we see him roaming between mountains, and with Taka and her son. If you enjoyed this video, don't be shy to hit the like button, and if you disliked it, hit the dislike button twice, just to be sure. It would be best if you watched the whole movie. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe for more videos like this.